More developments this week in relation to the Lockie Galvin situation at the West Tigers, fellas. Let's dive straight into it. Bring everyone up to speed in a nutshell because it is days of our lives as far as Lachlan Galvin's future.
Well, obviously, he's told the club he's leaving at the end of next season. There's been a legal stalemate. There was a board meeting on Monday. They emerged from that board meeting saying that Shane Richardson, the CEO, and Isaac Moses, Lachlan Galvin's agent, were continuing discussions, but it looks as though he'll leave there before June 30, if not in the next few weeks. That's the impression I get, it's the impression Mick gets, it's the impression you got, Dave. So I think it'll happen. It's just a matter of where I think that's the impression.
Reedy's talking on behalf of all of us. No, sweet, mate. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Who sung that song, The Impression That I Get? Anyway.
Oh, yeah,
keep
I
going.
know that song.
Yeah. Mick?
Yeah, I think he'll be gone.
He's gone?
Yeah, before June 30.
Where's he going, Mick?
Maybe Dogs, but this could change by the time this thing comes out, right? So I think Dogs.
Why do you think Dogs?
I don't know.
Michael.
It's not a good enough answer.
Michael.
I don't know, just things that are happening in the background.
What's happening in the background, Michael?
I don't know. I've just got a gut sense that it's going to be the Dogs. Who do you think? You think Para?
I think Parramatta. I just think he fit.
Para makes the most sense.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just going on the make sense angle.
Yeah.
Dylan Brown out, Lachlan Galvin in.
Yeah.
Really good educator in the halves alongside Mitch Moses. I love the talent of Isaiah Yongi.
Yep.
If you look at what Isaac...
And they just need to nail the number 9 position, which we'll get to.
Yeah. If you look at what Isaac did with Blaze Talangi, he sent him to Penrith to work alongside Nathan Cleary. So I can see the sense in Galvin going to the Parramatta. But I'm a bit like Mick. There's this nagging sense, and Brace's been pounding on about it on 360, that the Dogs haven't come out and denied it, shut it down.
Well, Gus has.
Well, he sort of has.
He said.
Then he also says he's the greatest player in history,
Gus
basically.
has shut it down, in fairness.
Yeah, but Gus...
But you said the Dogs haven't come and shut it down.
The coach spoke about it this week. He didn't shut it down.
No, he didn't.
No. So, and Gus, you can't take Gus with a grain of salt, right? Because Gus will throw you off the scent if he can.
The biggest influence for me and the Canterbury Bulldogs is that is Luke Vella, of which I detailed in my column a few Sundays ago. The connection with Lachlan Galvin and the assistant coach of the Bulldogs goes back to their high school days, and they are there's a lot of trust and belief in each other. Lachlan rates Luke as the top 3 influences on him making the NRL. And that brings me back into the Bulldogs discussion. However, I still hold the Blue and Golds as front runners.
Well, again, it makes the most sense because they need a 6, Dylan Brown leaving. But I'm a bit like everyone. We've learned not to trust or not to read into too much of what Phil Gould says, because sometimes he'll say things that throw you off the scent. Sometimes he'll throw stuff out there to create debate and send you in the wrong direction, and so that's the worry, right? And he's been so lavish in his praise of Lachlan Galvin for so long now, and now Lachlan Galvin's potentially available, and you tell me he's not going to go there? Come on, man.
The big situation, what will eventuate in relation to the leaving before June 30 is, can the Dogs, can Parramatta, or can another club get Lachlan Galvin into their system straight away? Let's talk about the Dogs for a second. What impact does it have on the Dogs of Lachlan Galvin coming in straight away to a team that's running first?
I would say the other issue with Galvin and the Dogs, Dave, is they haven't re-signed Toby Sexton. And every time they've been asked about his contract extension, potential contract extension, they talked it down almost. He's a developing player, or he's in the development phase. You know, they seem in no rush to re-sign Toby Sexton. Are you going to say have I been watching him?
Yeah, well, have you been watching? I just feel like there's an overinflated opinion of Toby Sexton at this point in time, and watching him closely, in that Raiders first half performance, when they needed to turn the momentum of that game, he came up with a dribble kick to legs to Hudson Young. He came with a rainbow ball to Jacob Carraz's feet, and it wasn't a controlling effort from a half. Anyway.
Well, that's why the Galvin door's ajar as well.
Yeah.
But what was the question? I forgot what your question was.
No, do they get him in? How can they? Do you let Galvin come into your system straight away?
Well, that's the worry of the Dogs, right? It upsets the system that's top of the ladder. That's the issue they've got to grapple with. But that's a smart footy club. I mean, Cameron Sorrell is a genius. Gus is a genius. They'll find a way to make it work. But I'm sure their preference would be, if they are to sign Lachlan Galvin, to do it at the end of the season when, it doesn't disturb what they're doing now.
Again, I come back to, I reckon Parramatta are the more streamlined move to before June 30. And I say this because you get Galvin in, and then suddenly those dominoes of which were originally discussed, Dylan Brown to Newcastle, Kai Pearce Paul down to the West Tigers, that can eventuate.
That could happen, it could happen. I just don't know how much of a hurry Dylan Brown is to get to Newcastle, given the predicament they're at. Is he racing out the door to... Seriously, is he racing out the door?
No, I agree. Would you want to go to Newcastle right now?
But can't Parramatta say to him, listen, mate, you made your call. We need to make our call for our future.
They can't force him to...
And Galvin's our guy going forward. He's coming.
They can't force him.
And we're going to play him ahead of you.
They can do that. They can certainly
play him. And then therefore Dylan's sitting on a bench or not playing.
Dave, would you want to go to Newcastle right now?
I don't start me on the Dylan Brown going to 10 years to Newcastle.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Would you want to go to Newcastle right now?
No way in the world.
No.
But I think it would be a lot of pressure on Dylan to go there and try and save the day in such a short period without a pre-season and stuff like that. I think it's a big ask for him. If I'm him, I don't think I want to do that until I get there, have a full pre-season, work with Kalen, change the attacking structure. They'll have... Dom Young will probably be there as well, so it will change a few things down there. Suddenly they'll have some spark. But yeah, so it's interesting to see what they would do at the Eels, because you got Dylan Brown. You can't play Galvin off the bench because Dylan Walker's killing it in that potential hybrid role. I don't know. Where do you shift? I don't know where you shift all these players to fit him in.